Welcome, everyone. Well, I am shocked. Labour has actually won the Makerfield by-election. I mean, who'd have thought? Who voted for them? Oh, hang on. Might be the Muslims. I mean, I never thought that Labour would ever get in again in 100 years. Okay, I was wrong. I was wrong. But they have been sort of pandering for the Muslim vote. And the problem there is the fact that only 58% of the people came out and voted. 58%. And they're saying, oh, that was an increase and a reasonable amount. 58%. And I bet all the Muslims come out and voted. But the British, they're going to lose the country if they don't all come out and vote. All of them. It's the British disease. You know, it's better the devil you know. I've even heard relatives say that. Definitely the British disease. The poor old Brits struggle on under all sorts of problems, enduring it because it's better the devil you know. Because they're too scared to take a chance, too scared to gamble on a new future. Sad. Labour getting in. Now, look, I've been trying to publicise the things that that mainstream don't seem to cover all the atrocities in England for people that don't see it. But it's a wider problem than that, isn't it? It's worldwide. It's not just England and Europe. It's worldwide. It's happening all over. It more or less started in it more or less started in Iran because they were a Christian country and an easygoing liberal Christian country let the Muslims in, and what happened? And the whole of North Africa was Christian, and it's all gone Muslim. But it's getting worse. I mean, in Nigeria, you remember, not that long ago, some 20,000 Christians were slaughtered by Muslims. That was never covered in mainstream. So I thought I'd do a little bit round the world. And Nigeria is currently grappling with a spate of mass abductions. But the vast country, and it's bigger than France and Germany combined, also faces many other security challenges. Recent attempts by Donald Trump and his supporters to frame the insecurity purely as the persecution of Christians overlooks the complexity of Africa's most populous nation. There are more than 250 ethnic groups in Nigeria, most of them not very well educated. And see, the Muslims is the fastest growing religion today, apparently. God knows why. And I think that most of the converts are uneducated, because if you had half an intelligence, you wouldn't join the Muslims, would you? You wouldn't become an Islamic. Be fair. So how do you expect that lot to get on? 250 ethnic groups, which is roughly divided into a mainly Muslim north, a largely Christian south, with intermingling in the middle. It's a recipe for disaster. And the government says people of all faiths have been victims of attacks. There are criminal gangs in the northwest, and Islamist insurgency in the northeast, clashes over land in central regions, separatist unrest in the southeast, leaving 400,000 strong army and the police force of 370,000 officers overstretched. So there are criminal gangs, known locally just as bandits, who are largely composed of people from the Fulani ethnic group, who traditionally make their living by raising animals. That's, ethnic group, bit of raising animals, fine, why not? But they have traded their pastoral tools for assault rifles, which have flooded Nigeria and other states in the region since Libya descended into anarchy when Gaddafi was thrown out and killed. The gangs are not known to be motivated by any religious or political ideology, but see kidnapping people for ransom as a quick and easy way to make money rather than walking for miles with their livestock in search of water and grazing land. See, rather than working, a lot of this third world minority countries or whatever you call them, they don't want to work. They would do anything that's easier, whereas the West always took the hardest route to achieve the best outcome. But no, they come here, they come to England for benefits. They don't want to work, do they? Anyway, there is no current centrally organised leadership. Each gang, often drawn from one family or specific community, tend to be loyal to its own leader. The police have placed boundaries on some of the notable leaders. The gangs, which sometimes fight each other, also travel to neighbouring states and central regions to carry out kidnappings. They also prey on their local communities and are indiscriminate in the ransom demands. In some areas, they tax residents. Anyway, you've heard of Boko Haram, a jihadist group. This Islamist militant group became famous around the world in 214 for kidnapping more than 200 schoolgirls from the village of Chibok, and about 90 of them are still missing. It evolved from a local Islamist sect founded in 2002 by Mohammed Yusuf in the northeast city. Local residents dubbed it Boko Haram, a name which in the Hausa language loosely translates as Western education is forbidden because of their opposition to Western style schools. That's why Islam's going nowhere, or it will go nowhere once we get our country back. It's a full-blown insurgency that was triggered in 2009 by the killing of Yusuf, who had been taken into police custody after Boko Haram clashed with the security forces. A more accurate translation to Boko Haram, you know that Haram in Islam means forbidden, not allowed, bad, whatever. And I think Boko translates to books. So they're saying no books, no books. And it's their opposition to Western styled schools, no books. How are they going to get educated? The only book they're allowed is the Koran. It doesn't really teach them. It doesn't really teach them much, does it? If anything, only how to kill. So it's no wonder that Islam's never invented anything, created anything, and when the printing press was invented in Germany by Gutenberg, the Islamist mullahs said they banned the printing press. They banned it because they didn't want their people to get too educated. Stone Age. They want to remain in the Stone Age. It's just, I don't know how if they had half a brain, they'd understand where they're going down the tubes, and they're trying to drag the West with them. That's the problem. And it's not only Nigeria. I mean, it's all over Africa, isn't it? In Niger, 35 were killed as gunmen attacked their busiest airport. The defence ministry said that the fatalities comprised of 22 assailants, 11 soldiers, and 2 civilians. They have been fighting an Islamist insurgency for a decade, and in January, an organisation linked to the Islamic State group claimed responsibility for an attack on the same airport. So it's happening all over Africa, really. It seems that when the West give up their colonies, they started to go down the tubes. I mean, look at Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe was the Rhodesia previously, was a breadbasket of Africa. And when it got its independence, the white farmers were thrown out, and now they're starving. None of them seem to be able to manage their countries. It's only the Middle East really that's got so much oil money that if they made mistakes, it didn't matter because they could just buy their way out of it. So it makes you wonder that people slate the British Empire. Oh, I know that there was some atrocities, but you're talking about the 1700s, the 18th century. The mindset in those days was totally different. Everybody's a product of their environment. And if you were born in the 1700s, you wouldn't think much was wrong with a little bit of push and shove, hard, a little bit of rough work. It wouldn't worry you. You'd think it was normal because it was. But nevertheless, England treated its colonies better than any other nation in history. Look what it did for India. Railways and roads and hospitals, schools, built that country, and now their economy has overtaken England. They're the fourth largest economy in the world. That's only due to the British Empire. I mean, what happened to French Indochina, which was Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos? They're all communists now. They just all fell apart. France just took from them, really, never put anything back. So let's not slate the British Empire too much, because they got things right working in different countries. And why do you think that the third world never invented anything? And it's the Industrial Revolution happened in England. Do you know why that was? It wasn't anything to do with climate or race or colour or anything. It was legislation. Right back from the Magna Carta on, the governments have brought in legislation to protect private property, to protect the individual, to protect business. No end of legislation that meant that people could safely take a risk, take a gamble on business and production and building and whatever. That was the Industrial Revolution. And it happened in England because of intelligence and good governance. And you just don't see that in the third world. And Africa's really going down the tubes. I don't think there's any end to it, you know. In Nigeria, Islamic jihadists invade school, murder one man, set classroom on fire. June the 14th, 2026, suspected Boko Haram terrorists have set ablaze a block containing 5 classrooms, a staff office at Government Day Secondary School, a government area of Borno State. They said the terrorists attacked the area in large numbers with the aim of destroying the school and its facilities. They don't want education. And as I said earlier, Boko Haram means books forbidden and refers to Western secular education. As far as these jihadi savages are concerned, students should be learning the Koran and the Koran only. Those who dare to try to learn something else must be terrorized into submission, as per the Quran's command to strike terror in the enemies of Allah. And since no one is paying particular attention, there will be many, many more strikes of this kind in Nigeria and neighbouring countries. How can a civilization grow without education? Put it in the comments below. Somebody enlighten me, please. I'm just getting. I can't believe it. The mentality of these people. How is it happening? How this Muslim woman in a burqa reads the Quran for the first time and decides to leave Islam. I read the whole Quran, but I didn't find a single verse about women in it in heaven. Women get nothing. It's all about men. She's 100% right. This is Pakistan. It's what they're going to turn the West into. And it's what the UK will become unless they're all deported. It's just a shithole. I've never seen anything like it. It doesn't matter where you look, and there's thousands of these videos keep coming out. So on the same day that Rupert Lowe's rape gang inquiry was released, detailing how predominantly Pakistani Muslim men gang raped and tortured 250,000 British children, another 700 plus invaders floated into England, all fighting age men, all unvetted, all will be in a hotel near you. Nobody's trying to stop it. This isn't Beirut or Tehran. This is Macron's France. Images of the destruction caused by immigrants in France. Why isn't this making headlines around the world? This is a reality that mainstream media is not reporting on. This is what I keep saying. Look, this is unbelievable. How can this be? How? Oh, I'm sickened. It's just something's got to be done. Listen, everybody must get out and vote. Everyone. And it looks like it's going to be Restore Britain. Vote for them. Don't vote for Nigel Farage. He is not all he cracked up to be. Anyway, look, UK, 159 kebab shops get Home Office licenses to bring in workers from other countries. What? Kebab shops? Kebab shops, vape stores, and even car washes are being allowed to sponsor overseas workers under Britain's visa system, a total of 159 kebab shops across Britain have been granted Home Office licenses allowing them to sponsor overseas workers under the skilled worker visa scheme. What sort of skill do you need for a kebab shop? The licenses enable businessmen to recruit workers from abroad. So they'll just be bringing all their friends in, won't they? All their mates. And with sponsored employees, often able to bring in family members with them to the UK. The figures have sparked criticism from senior Conservatives and migration campaigners who argue the system is being stretched far beyond its original purpose. Shadow Home Secretary Chris Phillips described the arrangement as a disgrace. The victory of Islam in Britain is practically assured. It's just a mopping up period and a short period of transition before Britain becomes an Islamic state. So why not bring in a few reinforcements? In case some natives get the crazy idea they can buck the system and preserve the nation as their homeland. What about the unemployed Brits? There's enough of them. I'm sure they don't really want to work in a kebab house, but bringing in more workers when we've got unemployed is a no-no, definitely. Oh, well, I hope I haven't depressed you too much. I don't know what I don't know. I don't know what to say except like get out and vote. Find out who your local Restore candidate is, if you've got one, and when you get one. I know Advance has pulled out, which is very decent of Ben Habib. But it looks like the only hope now is Restore, because Reform, I think, are going for the Muslim vote as well. But it looks of it, most of their candidates are Muslim. So anyway, do me a favour and please subscribe because YouTube doesn't like the authorities being criticised. Give us a like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one.